Hey everyone, in this video basically I guess it's just a rant. I want to get something off of my chest that's been bothering me. And what it is the other day my mother had one of her friends over, and I had come home from, I think, my classes, and I said hi and everything, and she asked me how I was doing, and I told her about my surgeries and how I'm back in school and everything. And then my mother jumps in and says, oh, and on top of all that stuff that's been going on, she has bipolar. And then she just turns her head and looks at my mother and she goes, you know what, I don't believe she has bipolar. And my mother says, I don't believe she has bipolar either. And they started laughing, and then they're like, oh, no offense to you or anything, but, and then she started talking about, my mother's friend started talking about her sister who's been diagnosed with bipolar, and she said, my sister is very violent and evil and, takes advantage of people and all this stuff. And she said, that's bipolar, that's bipolar. You're not bipolar, you're not bipolar, but no offense to any of this. And what bothers me is not that, not that they have their own opinions. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But for one, I don't think my mother should have just blurted out something so personal about me. That is about me, that is my personal business, those are my issues, and if I feel like I want to divulge them to people, then I will. I don't think that she should do that for me. And I did call her out on it, told her that's very disrespectful and rude, and on the other half of things, I feel like people don't take me seriously. I was told for years, by my doctor, and everyone wanted me to go to counseling, and I wouldn't go. And then finally, when I had reached my limit, I went to counseling, and I got help. And, I wasn't looking for a diagnosis of bipolar or a diagnosis of anything. I just wanted help. And I found help, and I feel a lot better now. But I just don't think that people take me seriously. I don't think, well, I don't think my mother takes me seriously. I don't think she takes what I've been through seriously. And, the whole thing was she wanted me to get help, and I wouldn't, and then I finally get help, and I get a diagnosis that she doesn't like, and she's constantly she keeps reminding me almost every day, well, maybe you should get a second opinion, or I don't believe this, I don't believe that. And I don't have any, whether I am bipolar or not isn't really the point. It's just that I don't feel that supportiveness, if my son was diagnosed with bipolar, and he was an adult, I wouldn't say, well, I don't believe that. I would say, you know what? I'm here for you. If you ever want to talk, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you. I wouldn't judge him. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I'm being judged. And it just, I mean, I know people judge, but I guess I want my mother to be supportive because she is my mother. But the way that she handles things isn't really helpful for me. Maybe it is for her, but it isn't for me. I'm not really sure what I should do about this situation. I want to just keep things to myself, but I know that if I ever needed her help, I'd have to tell her what was really going on if anything else ever happened in the future, I don't know, it just makes me sad that I feel like I feel like the only support I really have is through YouTube with all of you guys and gals and at my NAMI support group. That's the only two places that I actually feel like I can be myself and people won't judge me, and I'll get support and kindness, and I'll and just have that sense of community. But I'm gonna try and work on things with my mother and see if we can find a way that we can both work with this. I'd really love for her to not see me as, like, I don't know how she views me in terms of, my diagnosis, but the feeling that I get is that she sees me, like, she has this idealistic version of who I am, and then who I really am, with or without a diagnosis of anything, isn't good enough. And I think that, she wants the best for me, and, and I love her for that. She's my mother, and sometimes mothers can be a little overbearing, but sometimes I wish she would support me and not make me feel bad about, because now I feel bad that I went and got help and like, because I finally feel like my meds have stabilized in my brain, and I'm stable and I'm happy and I'm in a good place, and it's been a long time since I felt this way. And I feel like she's just stomping all over that. But like I said, I'm gonna try to work on things with her, with communication and working on her not blurting out my business. That's a big one for me. I don't blurt out her business. I don't talk to, friends and family or whoever about private things like that, because it's none of their business and it's not my place to do that, and I really want her to understand that from me. I have had this conversation with her before, but I think I need to use a different approach. Maybe work on things from my side so she can see that I'm changing, and then maybe she'll, see that and think, okay, well, she's doing this for me, so maybe I should do this for her too. I don't know. We'll see.